This is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. I saw this on TikTok video today, and it was really surprising to me, and I'm wondering if you've heard of it. It's called A World Without Men. The women of South Korea's 4B movement aren't fighting the patriarchy. They're leaving it behind. And this 4B movement is about women saying that they don't want to marry men, they don't want to date men, they don't want to have children with men, they don't even want to be in a relationship with men. They are going their own way, like these black American men said in the United States. Men going their own way or something like that. Well, this is the Korean version of women going their own way. And I just found this extraordinary because we've been hearing about these women being so submissive and feminine. And these women say they've had enough. So I'm just going to share a little bit of this article and see what you think about it and if you've heard of it. Young Mi's childhood was a difficult one. The 25-year-old nurse was born to a poor family in Daegu, South Korea, known for being one of the most conservative cities in the country. Young Mi's mom left the home when she was young to escape her husband's physical abuse, leaving her and her sister behind with him and their paternal grandmother. When she was 5, her 8-year-old sister started losing her hair from stress. As she grew older, young Mi found herself depressed, unsure of what her future held, and financially unstable. In Korea's patriarchal society, in which women are generally expected to defer to their fathers and to adhere to rigid beauty standards, she felt like a perpetual victim, obsessed by the wrongs done to her by her father and pressured into maintaining her appearance in order to please men. Despite her meager budget as a nursing student, she purchased new clothes each season, spending a lot of money on cheap, poor quality clothes from H&M. She wore makeup religiously. I could not go outside without any makeup. I had this pressure of wanting to look beautiful and wanting to be desirable, physically or sexually. While scrolling through Twitter in 2018, young Mi came across footage of protests taking place in the streets of Seoul, in South Korea, where cases of femicide, revenge porn, and dating violence are widespread. A surge in spy cam sex crimes, overwhelmingly committed by men, had mostly resulted in fines and suspended jail sentences if they were prosecuted at all. That was not the case, however, for one 25-year-old woman who had taken a non-consensual photo of a nude male model at art school and posted it online. She was sentenced to 10 months in prison and court-ordered sexual violence counseling. So the men got off, but the woman had to go to jail. The demonstrations were a reaction to the blatant hypocrisy. Young Mi was moved by the solidarity she saw, but there was one thing she found perplexing. Many of the women at the protest shaved their heads on camera. As she began to follow more feminist Twitter accounts, young Mi understood this was a public act of rejection of those same aesthetic expectations imposed on Korean women that have made the country a leader in grooming products and plastic surgery. She began to realize that men do not do that. Men do not feel the pressure to buy clothes every season or wear makeup. Well, that's pretty true. Young Mi shaved her head too and stopped wearing makeup, joining the so-called escape the corset movement happening among young women in South Korea. The movement, which first gained popularity in 2018, saw Korean women publicly turn away from societally imposed beauty standards by cutting their hair short and going barefaced. Young Mi was not alone. In 2019, a survey found that 24% of women in their 20s reported cutting back their spending on beauty products in the previous year, with many saying they no longer felt they needed to put in the effort. This eventually led Young Mi to 4B, a smaller but growing movement among Korean women. 4B is shorthand for 4 Korean words that all start with bi or no. The first no is the refusal of heterosexual marriage. The second bi is the refusal of childbirth. The third bi is saying no to dating. And the fourth bi is the rejection of heterosexual sexual relationships. It is both an ideological stance and a lifestyle. And many women I spoke to, and this is the author talking, many women I spoke to extend their boycott to nearly all the men in their lives, including distancing themselves from male friends. Through open chat groups on Kakao Talk, Young Mi connected with other feminists in Daegu, where she lived with her mother while attending nursing school, soon meeting each other offline. It's so easy to recognize each other with short hair, she said. She stopped seeing her friends from high school and middle school, whose conversations still revolved around makeup, clothes, and boys. When we met last November at a cafe in Seoul, where she's been living for the last 2 years, she was barefaced and dressed comfortably in loose jeans and a white fleece jacket. Her hair was long enough to be pulled back in a ponytail, as she'd grown tired of people asking about her short hair at her nursing job. But it was tucked into a white baseball cap. Feminism, she said, had helped her recognize that it was patriarchy that was the problem, not her, and that the bad things that happened in your life are not your fault, she said. For Young Mi and many others who subscribe to its basic premises, 4B, or practicing Baihan, is the only path by which a Korean woman today can live autonomously. In their view, Korean men are essentially beyond redemption, and Korean culture on the whole is hopelessly patriarchal, often downright misogynistic. A 2016 survey by the Ministry of Gender Equality and Family found the incidence of intimate partner violence at 41.5%, significantly higher than the global average of 30%. While 4B's adherents may hope to change society through demonstrations and online activism by modeling an alternative lifestyle to other women, they are not trying to change the men whom they view as their oppressors. It is too soon to tell whether this movement can survive and thrive over the long haul, but its ideas and actions have already affected the country's online discourse, its politics, and most of all, individual women's lives. Practicing Baihan means you're eliminating the risks that come from heterosexual marriage or dating. Yowan, a 26-year-old office worker, told me on a cafe terrace in the seaside southern city of Busan. We talked over coffee and pastries along with Yowan's girlfriend and another of their friends, all of them wearing wide black pants and black sweaters and sporting cropped short haircuts. Those risks Johan alluded to might seem familiar. trading career for child rearing and housework, as well as the threat of physical violence. But in Korea, Yeoman said, marriage presents an existential threat. There was a time when Minji, a 4B adherent in Daegu, had wanted to get married because, everyone wants to get married. Knowing what she knows now, however, like that domestic violence, as she puts it, is so common, I don't want to get married anymore. Minji, 27, is probably heterosexual, she said, and has liked a few guys in the past, but they wanted her to treat them like a king. So she has no problem boycotting the men of her generation who are a little better than her selfish and abusive father. So this is a real movement in South Korea where the women are just rebelling against oppressive behavior from men and having to adhere to a standard of behavior and dressing that they find very restrictive and uncomfortable. So they are rebelling, and in the process, South Korea has the lowest birth rate in the world because so many of the women have decided that they don't want to be in relationships with men. So this is something to study. You know that in Africa, there has been at least 2 villages in Africa, one in Kenya, and I'm not sure what the other one is, of women only. Now, they let men come to their village. They can come and visit, but the women say they're making all of the decisions. For whatever reason, men have other interests, and they want to be secure in their lives. So their villages are well run and sufficient, and one of the villages, men can live there, but they can't be a part of any decision making. So women are doing different things in the world, and I'm sure that American men, these men who are in the red pill movement and the save yourself black men, what is that? And the MGTOW, men going their own way, and the manosphere, these disaffected people probably understand each other. I believe that in the end, the majority of women are going to like men, and the majority of men are going to like women. You just have to figure out how you're going to navigate so that you enrich each other and bring out the best in one another. But they really have a problem in South Korea. Domestic abuse rate of 41.5%. That is very high. That is very high. So we're going to need people to stop trying to use these other groups of people as an example of how black Americans should behave or should live or whatever, because black Americans really might be doing better than these people that folk are trying to set up as an example. Because, didn't we all think that these people had stable, progressive societies? Haven't we been saying, look at the Asians? Look, well, we pretty much know the Hispanics not hitting on anything. Look at this person. Look at that person. At the end of the day, we're probably doing just about as well as anybody else. That's what I gotta say, so I'm going to leave it at that. So I'm going to leave it at that, but what say you? Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.